SugarHill, how are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Good stuff.
Enjoying the weather out here in Morecambe. The weather's always beautiful when I arrive, so everybody here should thank me. Being back here, it's calming, relaxing. Um, One day I'm just gonna come over here and just have a vacation to myself here. Maybe about a week, week and a half. I'll probably get on the road, take the old car out, take the top off the car and hit the road for a little bit and just see what's out there. I like the winding roads, so I won't take the 6. I'll take some of those other roads. I won't give you the number because I don't want anybody to know the path I'm going to take.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly, Morecambe, it is a beautiful day today, but slightly different to Vegas. Little less distractions, maybe?
Not exactly. In Vegas, we're in our own, pretty much like a compound, own area, and we're pretty focused, so it doesn't really matter about where we are for having distractions. Distractions are only as big as you allow them to get. Boom, there's that cloud above my head.
Where do you stay? Do you stay at Tysons, or are you somewhere else in Morecambe?
No, I stay at Tyson's house, as I've always stayed there. I'm comfortable. I have my own room there. So, yeah, I leave clothes there and everything.
Excellent.
So I'm really home.
We're 5 weeks out now, but from what I can gather, Tyson's kind of been in the gym really since his last fight. So how is he? Is he where you want him to be at the moment?
He's a shining bright apple, shining bright red apple, because he stays training like every fighter should stay. And that makes the best for me and for him. And it makes his preparation for these fights a lot easier and more enjoyable. The perception is now 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks for a training camp. And it really, honestly, it should only be about 4 or 5 weeks. And this is where Tyson is right now, at the 4 or 5 week range. But this camp, we took, I think, 6, 7 weeks. So right on schedule, just take it easy. He's already ready. It's just up to me to push him. But I'm not going to push him just yet. Push him at the right time.
And we can hear that noise. We can hear is Tyson screaming downstairs. He's filming
a
promo for us.
I thought it was a ship.
Yeah, I mean, last time I saw you was at the Wilder fight. Obviously, I mean, looking back now, has it sunk in just how incredible that fight was?
Yeah, the fight was an incredible fight. It's never left my body, my soul, my heart, and my mind. It sticks with me. Even more so when I go different places, people are still talking about that fight. And when we were in Vegas and different places in the U.S., one of the things they always say is, "Oh man, that's Tyson Fury. Oh man, look, he the one put them hands on that boy. He put hands on Wilder." That's one of the things they always say. He put hands on out of everybody we meet and see. The same thing they say is he put them hands on them. So yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling. It's a good reminder, and it keeps us thinking about it. The good time that we had and how electrifying that fight was, and how it'll be embarked in our memories forever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that went straight into their top 10 fights of all time, and I think it's obviously, you can get carried away in the emotion after a fight, but I've watched it back since, and it was just, well, it was incredible, wasn't it, as I've said already.
Yeah, it's the same for me. And just 2 days ago, we watched the first fight. The second fight actually, but the first fight that I was involved in, we watched that one and we were just sitting there like we were fans as well, looking at things, laughing about it, laughing at like mistakes that Tyson made, and maybe been off balance and how he doesn't do it now. So both of those 2 fights are very memorable for me and him. That goes along with our history together since 2010. So.
He kind of fought 3 different fights against Wilder. The first one, it was like a boxing masterclass, really. I know he went down, but most of that fight, he was way on top, was dancing rings around him. The second fight, he demolished him. The third fight was just an all-out slugfest almost, wasn't it? What sort of fight will he fight against Whyte? Will it be one of those, or will it be a combination of all 3?
We don't know exactly. Like, it's not a repeat. So just because every fight and everything is a different situation, you have to adjust to it. We don't know what Dillian Whyte is going to do when he comes in that fight. And it's just a matter of making those adjustments and being able to make those adjustments in every fight. It's not just one game plan. It's like you go in there with everything you got and you use those tools as you need whenever you need to use them. And that's pretty much the game plan. It's not just one thing. Obviously, the one thing is on our minds, a knockout. Definitely that. But it's just how to get it. Do you get it this way? Or maybe right there? Or maybe way over here? You have to be in there to see it and make a decision. That's for me and him to make those decisions, to counter anything that the opponent is doing and to execute and to get that big knockout.
Yeah, I mean he's such a versatile fighter. Like I said, he can fight in so many different ways. That must be good for you. He can whatever you want him to do, he can do it. He's that good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And yeah, it's good for me and it's good for him. I know that he can do those things, and just making the proper adjustments and giving him the proper direction for what he can do. I can't make him do something that he cannot do and something that we have not practiced.
And the fight itself, it's arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest fight on these shores in the UK. Everyone's talking about it now. It's sold out the first day, 80,000 tickets. What's the view of it in America? Is it because Tyson's obviously a star over there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a star in America. He's a worldwide star. And that's mainly because of that heavyweight division and his fights, his exciting fights 1, 2, and 3, actually. Yeah, I mean, each fight got better. And, Tyson Fury is the heavyweight, and the heavyweight champion of the world is always probably one of the most respected men on the planet. There's always that person to look up to or to look at as being that figure, for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I mean, it's outside the ring as well. Obviously, we know it's not just his fights and it's his personality. When he's at home, when you're staying at his house, well, what's he like around there? Is he cooking breakfast? Is he just quite chilled?
And we have our moments. It's just like me. Like right now, I'm just chill, but I have my times where I'm a bit rambunctious, a bit overgoing, and but those modes can be switched on and off just like that. So it's quite the same with Tyson. We like to have fun, but first of all, it's about business. But when you're doing your job and you're having fun with your job, makes it even better.
Yeah, and we haven't, again, we don't know what Tyson's going to be like when he meets up with Dillian, because unfortunately, Dillian doesn't want to meet him at the moment. What do you make of all that?
Hey, it's only a matter of time. You can't avoid what's been avoided for long. It's always going to be a time we have to face up to it. Tyson's going to just, whatever he feels. I don't know what the opponent, Dillian, is thinking. Maybe he has a plan when he sees him. Tyson doesn't have a plan. It's just whatever feedback he gets from the person that's in front of him is where he'll go from there. That's that ability to adjust and to create and to stay in control.
And do you think Dillian, from a neutral point of view, do you think Dillian has a chance? Have you identified what his strengths are?
Listen, this is the heavyweight division, the most exciting division in boxing. Everybody has a chance. That's why it's one of the big daddy divisions, because anything can happen in the heavyweight division. Everybody has that power. All of these men are 200 pounds plus.
Yeah, as Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face.
Yeah, we've experienced that one before too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that must be because you've seen your man, especially in that last fight, he goes down twice. Is there any point where you think, that's it, he's done, he's not getting up from this?
No, the only way I would think that is if it's past 10, as been proven and shown in the first meeting of the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight.
But equally, your heart must be in your mouth as a trainer, as a friend, when you see your man crushed to the canvas like that.
For me, when I saw him go down, I wasn't worried so much like that because I'm watching him. I watched the way he went down. Like, he didn't just go down like one that got hit and then just boom. He was hit, and then you could see him getting his feet together, like trying to get his feet or whatever, and tried to grab him but missed the grab and fell at that point. So he was aware and alert that much to try to even grab hold to Deontay Wilder. And then the second knockdown was even was not such a great punch. It was like a punch, like a push punch behind the head, kind of like, which was okay for me. I was happy with that one. I rather that one than the first one that he got caught with. So when he went down from that one, I was like, all right, he'd be all right.
Yeah, and he was, and he won, and Deontay, to his credit, I know straight after the fight, I mean, been knocked unconscious. It was like refusing a handshake, but since then put a very dignified message on social media congratulating Tyson. I think all's happy there again. Tyson still thinks he's the second best heavyweight in the world after him. Thinks he beats everybody else. Do you agree with that?
Doesn't really matter.
That's
doesn't
probably
really matter to me. Yeah, I mean, this is just an opinion. So I don't even think my opinion is that important on that situation as far as who's the second best. I'm only concerned with who's the best.
And that's him shouting down there, if anyone can hear.
See, that's what happens when you're the best. Shouting all over the place.
And what's your prediction for the fight? Obviously, I know you said your man's going to win. What do you say? You think?
Come on, you should tell me that. Knockout. It's knockouts always. Knockout time. Every fight is prepared. I'm preparing Tyson to knock somebody out.
And you've got the guys you're bringing in for sparring. Presumably you've got different guys for different aspects of the game plan.
You're smart. Dillian. Yes. Very smart. Yeah, we bring in the proper sparring to sometimes simulate the opponent, but just to give different looks as well. So it's not just having a sparring in there that's mimicking the opponent. I don't want to go too deep into my strategy and my bag of wisdom, but there is some kind of a science to my madness.
And just finally, Tyson said in the press conference after facing off against himself, because there was no one there, said that this is going to be his last fight. Do you think that's right? I mean, do you believe that he believes that as well?
That's what he said at that time. So yeah, whatever he says at that time, that's what it is. And as you know, everybody in the world changes their mind. So it just depends on how much you really put thought into what he said. Or anybody else.
Yes.
Nobody believes Tyson anyway, so what difference does it make?
From his point of view, I suppose, he said to me that he wants to bow out at the top with all his faculties intact. He's won all the belts. He's beaten Wilder 3 times. If he can, in front of 80,000, 90,000 people at Wembley, it'd be a good way to go. And obviously you can't argue with that. But I think for the British public, there's always that question about AJ. The fight they wanted to see, but has never happened and may never happen.
Listen, those two may have an opportunity to fight when both of those guys are like 45 years old. Who knows? Do you stick around and just keep waiting for that? Or do you just live your life in peace knowing that you've done everything that you could do, to be successful and to know that you put every effort forth? You can't worry about everybody else and situations you have no control over. In that situation, he doesn't have control over. It's too many other moving components to even think so deep about that. If it was just between him and Anthony Joshua, then now you have a better chance. It's 50-50. But now when you have it broken down into so many different elements, you kind of lose a real control of the situation. And it's best to just not even think about it so much or worry about it and just live your life. And I guess that's what Tyson has chosen to do by saying that he'll retire after this fight here. Yeah, and this fight... Fair play.
This fight, the one that is happening, for yourself, it must be quite exciting for you to walk out in front of a national football or soccer stadium, as you call it, in front of 80,000, 90,000 people. It's going to be a bit of a buzz.
Yeah, it should be, but at those times, I'm not even thinking about it. That crowd is tuned out. I mean, I know there's people there, but for me, thinking about, oh, wow, so many people, it doesn't even cross my mind. I'm pretty much in fight mode. I don't see anybody. People calling my name. I don't hear them at all. What am I going to stop and look for? I'm in the zone. I know what I have to do. I have a goal set out that I want to achieve as well. And for me, it's really not that big of a deal for me, just having that crowd. It'll be something like after the fight, I'll be like, how was the crowd? Were they into it? I have to ask somebody that, because I'm totally tuned out and focused on what I have to do. And also one other thing is like, this should be a big crowd. I've been in front of big crowds with Emmanuel, being partially in the corner with some of Vladimir Klitschko fights and walking out, with that kind of excitement. And he had big exciting venues and things like that. Don't remember which stadiums I were at, but those were big soccer fields filled to capacity as well.
Yeah. Well, once it's all over though, once Tyson is victorious, once the team's victorious, then you can start to enjoy and maybe have a little bit of a celebration.
Yeah, to be shirts off again. Not a question.
Brilliant. Lovely to talk to you as always.
All right, thank you as well.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I just give them the old SugarHill. It's that sugar kiss.